Alright, welcome to today's lesson on the Counter Reformation. So the Counter Reformation is the Catholic Church's series of reforms in response to the spread of Protestantism in the mid-1500s to the early 1600s. Some early reformers were Girolamo Savonarola, who was a monk who tried to change the church from within. He gave a bonfire of the vanities, was excommunicated and executed in Florence. We have religious orders, so we have the Jesuits, the Society of Jesus. They renewed the church's emphasis of spirituality and service, and was founded by Ignatius of Loyola. Alright, the Basque nobleman and former soldier. They concentrated on education as a means of combating the Protestant Reformation. In 1545, church members decided to redefine some of the religious doctrines of the Catholic Church, and this became known as the Council of Trent. And they clarified Catholic teachings on addressing the abuses, addressing corruption, how the training of priests were regulated, the addressing of financial abuse, and they abolished the sale of indulgences. They also reaffirmed transubstantiation and the sacraments baptism, confirmation, marriage, Eucharist, penance, and anointing the sick. So the basic structure of the church was reaffirmed. Some of the reforming Catholics were Charles Borromeo, the Archbishop of Milan, from 1560 to 1584. He implements the Council of Trent reforms and builds a school to educate the priests. We have Francis of Sales, who implemented a missionary program in Savoy, Italy. He returned many back to the Catholic Church with his help. You have many women in the church, such as Angela Merici, began a company of St. Ursula. Jane of Chantal trained women to be teachers. Mary Ward of England created networks of schools for girls. And Teresa of Avila, most famous female spiritual leader of the Catholic Church. Alright, Inquisition. So there's two different Inquisitions. There was a Spanish Inquisition in 1478 and a Roman Inquisition in 1542. The Roman Inquisition tried people for being Protestant, witchcraft, and breaking with church law. And one example of witchcraft is the Malleus Maleficarum, the hammer of witches. The Spanish Inquisition tried people for being Jews, Muslims, and Protestants. Through both, there were many accounts of torture and executions, and the Index of Forbidden Books, which censorship of certain reading materials. Alright, so what are the Protestant Reformation's long-term effects? The Jesuits bring many back to the Catholic Church and renew the doctrines of the Catholic Church. We see new denominations form because reformers interpret the Bible differently. We also have the expulsion of Jews and Muslims. Spain gives these three groups of people three options. You can either convert to Christianity, get out of Spain, or die. Jews end up being segregated in ghettos, and a ghetto is where walled sections of the city and their gates were closed at a certain time each evening. Alright, we also have the censorship in the church, the Index Librorum Prohibitorum, which is where forbidden books were a list of books that you should not read. And they believe that you could lose your soul by reading these books. They contain reformers' writing and some secular works. Witchcraft. There was a hysteria of witchcraft that swept through Europe between 1580 and 1660. They believed that witches would kill children, kill livestock, and work with the devil, and it caused mass hysteria. Some political effects. Many states and businesses went to church to become less involved with political affairs. Now political power is not going to be separate from the church. The Peasants' War is stirred by Renaissance and Reformation ideas. Luther is connected with this revolt, even though he denounces it, as we saw in the movie Luther. The local Lutheran princes even go to war with the Holy Roman Emperor in 1555, the Peace of Augsburg, where each prince can now choose the religion that his subjects would practice. Conflicts between religions conflicts between Catholic faith and Protestant faith in France. In 1598, Henry of Navarre converted to Catholicism, and this created temporary peace. And then that led to the Edict of Nantes, granting religious freedom to Protestants in France. All right.